As a result of negotiations with the Jewish Claims Conference since 1952, the German government has paid more than 60 billion American dollars to Jewish victims of Nazi persecution. Now, with increasing numbers of elderly Holocaust survivors dying, survivors are being asked to submit memoirs of their wartime experiences to a new electronic collection being established by the Claims Conference. This is an international program as Holocaust survivors live in 75 countries. In Germany, at Frankfurt's Budge retirement home, its resident Rabbi Steinman does not only cater to the religious needs of 90 Jewish residents, he also helps 60 concentration camp survivors preserve their memories.
On a majority, they want their memory to be perpetrated. That's very, very important. And each one is different in a tragic way. I can give you some examples. There was one lady who always takes food home. And she hides the food till today, 50, 60, 70 years later. She's still afraid that she'll be left hungry and there won't be enough food. There was another traumatized patient that we had here. Unfortunately, she passed away. A real hero. She was a part of the Dutch resistance. And when she was caught, they tortured her. She became ill once and she was transferred to the hospital. And in the hospital, she got very, very uneasy. She was very restless. So they tied her to the bed. By tying her down, her whole trauma came back again.
3 years before the war ended, Esther Topaz was born in a concentration camp in France. She survived the Holocaust with her mother, who now lives at the Budge retirement home and will turn 100 years old next year. Before her mother dies, Esther is helping her own children and grandchildren understand the family experience during the Nazi reign of terror.
My children were always part of it, when my parents would come to Montreal and talk about it. My kids were right there listening, so they know, and we definitely pass the stories.
I gather you're a grandmother now. How about your grandchildren?
I will tell them. Yeah, I have two, which I love.
My Auschwitz number was not used there anymore. I got a new number from Sachsenhausen.
This is your Auschwitz number?
That is my Auschwitz number.
Heinz Herrsdorfer, age 89, survived several concentration camps and death marches, but waited 65 years after being liberated from the Sachsenhausen concentration camp on April 22, 1945, before he decided to write and publish his memories.
That's my brother, whom I had hoped I had saved him, but something went wrong. You can read it in the book.
Is this your mother?
No, that's an aunt. That's my mother. She was deported. And that is a sister of my father. She was deported. And my brother, all murdered.
Collecting testimony from survivors is one of the most important ways of preserving the memory of the Holocaust. Each account of survival brings its own historical perspective and broadens public knowledge of the most infamous crime of the 20th century. This is Wilson Ruiz for Jewish News One in Frankfurt.